The story begins aboard the Avalon, a massive sleeper ship carrying 5,000 colonists and 258 crew members in hibernation. Their mission is to reach a new world called Homestead II, a 120-year journey from Earth, which has been devastated by environmental collapse. 30 years into the trip, the ship passes through an asteroid field. One large rock strikes the hull, damaging several systems. The malfunction causes one passenger, mechanical engineer Jim Preston, to wake up, 90 years too early. Confused and alone, Jim realizes there's no way to go back to sleep. His distress call to Earth will take decades to reach anyone. He roams the ship searching for help, but its AI and robotic systems can't understand his situation. They assume everything is fine. Jim even tries breaking into the crew hibernation room, but fails because of the ship's tight security. Days turn into months. Jim fills the silence with games, food, movies, and the company of Arthur, a friendly android bartender. But isolation slowly crushes him. After a year alone, desperate and hopeless, he considers ending his life, until he notices another passenger in her pod, Aurora Lane, a beautiful woman and writer. Jim becomes fascinated by her, reading her background and watching her recorded interviews. He wrestles with his conscience. He knows waking her would doom her to live and die on the ship, just like him. After months of inner conflict, loneliness wins. He wakes Aurora, but lets her believe her pod malfunctioned, just like his. At first, Aurora is devastated to learn she'll never see Homestead II, but she soon accepts her fate, journaling her experience and slowly bonding with Jim. Together, they explore the ship, go on virtual adventures, and eventually fall deeply in love. For a while, their lives seem perfect, until the illusion shatters. One day, the android Arthur accidentally tells Aurora that Jim was the one who woke her up. Horrified and heartbroken, Aurora feels betrayed, realizing her entire life was stolen from her. She lashes out, screams, and completely cuts Jim off. Months pass in tense silence aboard the Avalon. Everything changes when another pod malfunctions, awakening Gus Mancuso, a senior crew member. With Gus's help, they gain access to the ship's command center and discover the full extent of the damage from the asteroid strike. Multiple systems are failing. If they don't act soon, the ship, and everyone still in hibernation, will be destroyed. But Gus's pod left him fatally ill. Before dying, he gives Jim and Aurora his crew access ID, urging them to save the others. Using his clearance, they trace the problem to a damaged reactor control module. Working together, they replace the part. But when the reactor begins to overheat, a dangerous plasma buildup threatens to blow the ship apart. Jim realizes the vent system must be opened manually from outside the ship. He suits up and spacewalks to the vent, holding it open while Aurora triggers the release from inside. The heat and radiation nearly kill him, but he manages to keep the vent open long enough to save the Avalon. As the blast subsides, his tether snaps, sending him drifting into space. Aurora rushes to save him, pulling his body back aboard. She uses the ship's medical pod, the auto dock, to revive him. Miraculously, Jim comes back to life. With the ship now stable, they bury Gus in space. Later, Jim discovers that the auto dock has a hidden function. It can act as a single hibernation pod. He offers it to Aurora so she can finish the journey asleep and live on Homestead II. But after everything they've been through, Aurora chooses to stay awake with him, deciding that life together, even a short one, is better than a lonely eternity. 88 years later, The crew finally wakes up as the Avalon nears Homestead II. They find the ship's once sterile atrium transformed into a garden paradise, complete with a tree, birds, and a small wooden cabin. Aurora's voice narrates her final story, describing the life she and Jim built together, a life full of love, peace, and beauty among the stars.